Sir, you've been heard. So, I am a well-oiled machine on tour. I have all my little stories dialed in, and I go in front of my hometown audience, a bunch of cynical, overeducated people, and I go forth as the Electoral College is falling in. I'm looking at the audience, who's looking at me. Over 1,000 people are staring at me. You can just turn these monitors off. It's turning into a nightmare up here. Please help me. Anyway, I'm on stage, rattling away, hyper speed, know exactly what I want to say. And I'm looking at the audience, who look up at me like they just saw a dog get hit by a car. And then they look back down at their crotch. And I'm like, what am I doing to these people? And there's moments in what I say, like, hey, there's a laugh there, like, and they're like, uh-huh. And I have no idea how I can be bombing. I don't think I'm any great shakes to the stage, but I've never bombed like I'm bombing. There's a bunch of people in the theater, and all I see is aggravation. But my head is so far up my ass in performance mode, don't screw this up, I forget what's happening historically in real time in the America. And I keep on rattling away, 2 hours and 10 minutes, blah, blah, blah. And the audience looks like they are either losing air or taking on water. Like they start all uniformly listing to the side. And the look on their faces, did I leave my front door unlocked? Is my babysitter a decent person? This look of worry as they look at me and then look right back down at their crotch. I'm thinking, why are you so attached to your pudenda? Aren't you used to it by now? And so I finished the show like, well, thanks, good night. Yeah. And I have no idea what I have done to these good people. And so I stagger backstage with a lump in my throat, an albatross of bad shows swinging from my neck. And I asked this woman who I know who's backstage, I go, what did I just do to these people? She said, you've been in Henryland for the last 2.5 hours. You don't know what's been happening in America, do you? I'm like, She says, you better go check the internet, son. Everything's changed. And what I didn't realize is they're all looking at the Electoral College votes coming in, and they're watching Hillary Clinton get annihilated by the Electoral College. And I'm up there, hey, da-da-da-da, and they're like, yeah, you're funny, my life is over. And so I went back to my Bon Jovi mobile, my tour bus that I live in, and I stayed up until about 5:30 in the morning, unable to sleep. And I had that 9/11 deja vu, pit of stomach, nothing's ever going to be the same again feeling. An incredible sinking feeling, and I didn't know, how am I going to rebound from this? Like, this sucks. And so I watched all the different news carriers handle the information. Fox News, they're not even trying to hide their jubilation. Most of the news hosts have their tops off. Lines of cocaine are being snorted off the chests of 13-year-old strippers. Jets of semen are flying across the studio. And everyone is, popping corks and saying white power. And so CNN is predictably, I'm Wolf Blitzer, boom. And MSNBC are bright young pundits trying to hide their dismay to be objective newscasters, and they're holding back the tears like, well, we have a new president. I'm like, okay. And so then it was around, I don't know, like 0500 or so, somewhere like that. And Donald Trump takes the stage to announce that he's won. And it's the only time I've seen this guy on his heels. And you could tell he didn't want the job. He didn't think he was going to win. And he realized that he's bitten off a too big of chunk of meat that even he can't swallow. And it looked to me like he was on stage after someone punched him in the solar plexus and went, go talk now. He's like, it's gonna be great. I won. And, oh no. And the wife is like, really? I hated you then, and now I really hate your guts. And so why she moved and ensconced herself in Trump Tower for 6 months, I totally get it. Anything not to be touched by that thing. And so I realized he wasn't the guy for the job, but you already knew that. And so a couple of days later, I watched President Obama, who I fully understand some people have some disagreements with, as do I, but for the most part, he will always be my James Bond president. Cool under pressure, smart, and he's a human. We're going to have disagreements, that you and I have disagreements. It's cool, we can still get along. But for the most part, I think he was pretty damn amazing. And so there he is, welcoming Donald Trump into the Oval Office, a room I used to want to go visit. One day, I wanted to walk in there and be like, wow, Cuban Missile Crisis. I can still smell the sweat. Wow. Now that room has been ruined for me because Donald Trump has rubbed his ass on the carpet. So it's over for me. But I'll never forget looking at the drawn face of Barack Obama, who now at this point in his presidency looks like Tutankhamun, or a man who has not slept since the Bronze Age. And he's sitting next to the new president-elect with this look on his face. Don't scream. Keep your central nervous system aligned. Don't throw up. And just look good for the camera. And soon, Michelle, I'm out of this. And the tell was when Donald Trump said, I thought this meeting would last 15 minutes, and it ended up lasting an hour and a half. What do you think you will get imparted to you by the outgoing president, you the incoming president? Less than 50 of them there's ever been in 15 minutes. What do you think Barack Obama could tell you about being president in 15 minutes? Top drawer, jujubes. Second drawer, a snow globe. We don't know what administration it's from. Third drawer, keys to the garage. And I think that's some pudding. I mean, there's just nothing you can tell him. And that's when I realized the new president has no attention span and we are screwed. And so, if you've ever endured any of these awful, wretched talking shows that I've put you through for the last 30-some years, if you notice, I never present a problem that I don't have either 1 or 5 ways of wriggling out of. I never propose a Gordian knot of an issue and say, well, that's it. It sucks and I'm going home. No, 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 and no. America is in a really interesting and awful place right now, and it's getting people killed, and it's getting good people disenfranchised. But when some people see a crisis, I see an opportunity. And so, what you have right now in your wonderful America, sadly, is not more of this. What you have is the culmination of at least 3 or 4 decades of Reagan's curse upon America, the fake war on drugs, and the dumbing down of the American electorate. And so a guy like President Trump was not a freakish thing. It was eventual. Eventually you will get a fake populist who can say bumper sticker things to people who with no attention span because they get Fox News instead of NPR. They don't read, they don't travel, they don't know, and sadly, they don't want to know. And so I just described to you a tunnel with no light at the end. But here's the light at the end of the tunnel. It's not a pinprick of light. Actually, it's a freaking Klieg light. And the thing is that's really great about right now is everything matters. And I'm not trying to be over serious. I'll get way less serious in about 20 seconds. Everything you say matters. Everything you say is getting heard by someone else. Humans are sensitive creatures. You tease us in the schoolyard, we stay teased in the schoolyard, and years later we make punk rock bands and we wreak revenge on you all. And so, now is a great time to do really good stuff, because now, in my lifetime, 56 years, yes, I know I look 27, but I'm 56. I'm kidding, I look 80. But now's the time, because everyone is listening, and everything matters. And so what I try and do, I don't censor myself, I just try to think better thoughts. And that puts me in an almost Lincoln-esque point of view, in that he was a lawyer and a politician, so he was a bastard 2 ways. However, he understood the power of words. If you ever have a chance, you can go on the internet. You can go on the internet right now if I'm boring. You can just look at your phone and read one of Lincoln's many, many great speeches, where one of his sentences are better than 90 pages of anything you will ever write in your life. And he understood the power of words, and he understood the power of decency, and not to get political or breast-beating or stentorian, but he understood the true spirit of America, that it's decent people trying to find a way forward. And if we are not the ones doing that, then we are truly screwed. But I know we're not screwed because you are here and I am here. And some of you are going to breed if you haven't bred already. And I bet that you're not going to hatch out a homophobe. I bet from your loins or from wherever there will be no misogynists coming from your household. My father was the perfect combination, a PhD